The Breeders Cup Friday $100 budget edition of the Notorious OTB on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 to get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN. Everybody to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And folks, as always,
it's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
We used to read Blood Horse magazine. I got my Cuban.
Yes, Cuban B.
And I'm host Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me. It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good.
Yes. Welcome to the show. This is typically where I say, joining me as always, you might know him as the Michelangelo the Crying Jordan. You know the whole spiel. Barry the Sniper Spears. Barry just has it like that. He's out at the Breeders' Cup this today, and he's going to be doing some radio appearances. But I've got the next best thing, or equally best thing, I guess I should say.
I mean, no one's Barry Spears, so I hear you on that one.
That's true. You hear her if you're listening to the audio version. You're seeing her if you're watching us on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know her from Talking Horses. You might know her from America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, Sara Elbadwi.
And what the fuck are you doing on TV anyhow? You know, I get calls from back home every fucking day. They think you went batshit.
What's up, Sarah?
Not too much. Excited to talk some Breeders' Cup with you, and I feel like you called in for backup, and I'm here to help.
Yeah, I don't say backup. I say equally as good up, I guess, if that works.
I take it as like you need reinforcement, and I'm the person you call, and so I'm gonna twist it into a compliment for myself, and that's really all that matters.
There we go. You're like the sixth man on the basketball team, just ripping off the breakaway pants and ready to ball out. That's right. Well, guys, what are we going to be talking about today? Of course, today we're looking into the future with Future Star Friday at the Breeders' Cup. I might not have Barry with me, but I still have a tradition, and is that we look at the card with $100 budget. So we're looking at the Friday Del Mar race, BC races. Let's go ahead. Let's pull up some past performances. Sure, we can play any Breeders' Cup race. We can use any wager type. It's whatever makes that cash money, and you have to stay within your $100 budget. That's right. Del Mar, BC Friday. We got a Halloween Breeders' Cup, the 31st of October, year of our Lord, 2025. There are 5 Breeders' Cup races on Friday. Post time for those is going to be 5:45 Eastern, 4:45 God's time, 2:45 a.m. Pacific time, out on the Pacific Coast. And Sarah, by virtue of having your picks ahead of time, I know that we don't agree on much, but there's one thing we both agree on, which is fuck race 6. I don't want no part of this shit. I know why I passed, but why was the pass for you?
Race 6 is a trap for me. Every single year, I look at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, and it's one of the races that comes up first. So you start with the most enthusiasm with your handicapping and analysis. There's so many different pedigrees to dive into, trainer stats, limited starts. So you could think you can watch every single replay, and it's never, ever worth my while. And it also burns me out for the rest of the races that are likely going to turn more of a profit for me than this one is. I decided this year that I would do what I actually keep telling myself that I'll do. I will look at that race last, and I probably won't actually end up placing a wager because there's so much going on. It's a 5 furlong turf sprint. Anything can happen. Even if your handicapping is spot on, the trips matter so much. And I decided that I would actually be smart this year and look elsewhere.
I've been telling myself year after year that someday I'm going to smarten up. Never happens. So for me, the reason I passed it was we have 17 entries, 5 of them also eligibles. With any scratches, depending on how many, those AEs get in, it changes the pace scenario so much because you might be injecting it with pace, you might be removing pace and adding closers. So whenever I'm looking this far ahead, I try not to go after these sort of races. These are more of like a day. If I'm going to play this race, it's day of is what I usually do. But we have actual plays for you that start in race 7. I'm going to lead it off here, or kick it off, I should say. With race 7, 8.5 furlongs, $2 million, the juvenile fillies, of course, a grade 1. I'm playing a $20 win on the number 2 Bottle of Rouge, and I'm going to play a $10 exacta 2 with 5, 7. Let me highlight some stuff. There we go. I felt like this, like a really sneaky spot to get the other Baffert horse with the 2 Bottle of Rouge. And there's a dirty little pig boy angle at play with Bottle of Rouge.
Little pig boy.
Can I get the definition?
Little pig boy. He's that pathetic, dirty bitch baby mistress gets to stand on.
And there's also another dirty little pig boy angle because this one owned by Bob's wife. Look at that. All right, so there's a good amount of pace signed on for this race. I really think that it's a horse like Bottle of Rouge that's going to be saving ground the whole way around the track that manages to get up to win this. And what I like so much about Bottle of Rouge is that I don't think we've seen the best that this horse can offer. Bottle of Rouge has 2 wins and 2 career starts at Del Mar, including the maiden breaking score 2 races back where she was geared down to 1 by 6. The last out start, there was a little bit of a troubled trip going 7 furlongs when she brushed the gate. If Bottle of Rouge can take that next step forward where she runs somewhere in the 80s buyer's speed figure wise, that I think Money Mike and Bob can win another Breeders' Cup race. I'm also going to play a $10 exacta over the 5 and 7. I'm going to try to press this opinion as well as actually scale up the exacta to play a little bit to given the price the horse I'm using is at 9-2. And I think that I know who else will be around in the end with the main Bob horse, number 7 Explora, with Juan Hernandez up. And the 5 Tommy Joe, who is coming in off winning the Alcibiades Stakes at Keeneland, where the horse wasn't who crossed the wire first and was placed on top due to disqualification. It's possible that Tommy Joe for Todd Pletcher may be on the downward slide after winning the first 2 races of her career. Both these underneath horses are going to be on the front end of a hot pace. And I think that makes them underneath options for the 2 Rouge. So that is my first play coming out of race 7. Sarah, you've got to play in race 7, but real quick, don't forget the NFL, MLB, NBA, college football, NHL are all live, and we got podcasts giving out free picks for everything. Subscribe to the SGPN feed to catch every episode wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Sarah, what are you doing here in race 7?
I'm being a little bit of a homer. I went to the New York bred, the number 1 Iron Orchard, who does come into this race undefeated. And with her, yes, she was able to handle her 2 starts so far sprinting easily against State Bred Company, but I love what she did in the Frizette, getting up to win. Even though her buyer speed figure did regress by 2 points, she was trying the route of ground for the first time, even though it was that 1 turn mile. It was the way that she did it. She was able to show a different dimension, a horse that has that sprint speed that we've already seen on display, but to be able to take back, rate kindly, be towards the outside. And I think that that was a day that we saw most of those races throughout the card be a little bit more kind to the horses who had some inside position throughout the running of the race. That was never the case for her. She was still able to overcome that and get the victory, and one of very few to do so on the card. So that's something I definitely pay a lot of attention to with a horse who seems to be moving in the right direction mentally. And if she can translate some of this form over to a surface like Del Mar, I think that she's shown the tactical ability as well as the speed if she needs it in order to be effective. So just having those 2 different dimensions that we've seen from a horse be successful, that means a lot to me, as well as one that we can see maybe go from the rail or take back slightly. We'll see what kind of trip she ends up pulling out in here, but I know that she doesn't need to be on the lead to win.
There you go. So you've got a exacta key box that you're using Iron Orchard in, if I'm correct. Who all are you adding in this exacta key box?
I am going with everybody for the rest of this because
Yes.
I think that she's going to be enough of a price that if I can get her into that exacta, I want to have my options open for other horses in here. And I don't totally trust a horse like Tommy Joe, who the distance is a little bit of a question for me after she didn't quite go on with things in that Alcibiades. And whatever you think of the disqualification or not, I think that it could have gone either way. But I don't think that she was necessarily ever going by a horse like Percy's Bar. I could be completely wrong about that. Maybe she ends up just improving with distance. Maybe it was the forward position that she had in that race and just was sort of in chase mode. But I wanted to keep my options open if I was right about Iron Orchard.
There you go. And you even started a pick 3 with the single of Iron Orchard. I mean, it's an ice cold pick 3. I don't want to spoil anything. But it's ice cold.
It sure is.
So yeah, so you've got Iron Orchard to kick off that pick 3, which we are going to be rolling in to race 8. We're talking 8 furlongs, $1 million, the John Deere Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. Of course, a grade 1, like all of these Breeders' Cup races will be. Let's go ahead. Let's talk what you're going to be doing in your pick 3 here in this leg, because I believe you're actually going to kick it off with the same horse in another pick 3.
I am, yeah. This is a race where I'm not trying to beat the horse towards the outside, who certainly did not benefit from the post draw, but I think might just be a cut above the competition she's going to be facing in here. And that's the one all the way towards the outside in post number 13. And for Aidan O'Brien, who has had plenty of ability to show that she belongs in this kind of company. She's shown that she can get the distance. She's shown that she can handle different types of ground. She's shown that she really, since that first start, has been capable of gradually stretching out. And I think that she's going to be able to navigate some sort of trip over from post 13, where you do have horses that are either stretching out a distance or trying something new for the first time. And here, it's always a question how these horses get out of the gate. But I almost like her being towards the outside more so in a way because of that, where she doesn't necessarily have other horses that are coming in over her trying to save ground as well. So I thought that if I wasn't using just Precise, that I was going to have to use a couple of different horses for some coverage to feel confident in here. And if I can get a price in the first leg of this pick 3, the one that starts in race 7, then I felt comfortable going with some other shorter prices in the next 2 legs. And then to start this pick 3 with her, I have a price that I like in the final leg. So there's a little bit of a mixture of those long shots as well as some chalk that I'm trusting.
I like that you're being supremely confident. You're going ice cold with these plays, and that you're kind of rolling pick 3s. I think that's a great way to do damage on Breeders' Cup Friday. Whenever you have a ton of horses, you can zoom in, get one per leg, and you just say, "This is who I have. If I hit it, I'm winning all the money."
Well, if I would love to win all the money, but I don't know that I'm going to win all the money, but I think that it's a way to just really press your opinions and try to be as strategic as you can.
Well, I've got a play here also in race 8. I'm getting crazy with the cheese whiz, as it were. I'm playing a $2 trifecta, 125 with 13 with 125, 6, 9, 11. The favorite in this race, Precise for Aidan O'Brien, like we were talking about, looks tough. And I'm going to try to beat it into second place with what I call the good old chalk sandwich. For one, Precise doesn't have the experience making left-handed turns in a race because every race it's run so far is either a right-handed turn or a straight race. And the running styles are different. She'll have to show the ability to change leads differently. That's a question mark for me. And it's a question mark that gives me the confidence to take a shot against. However, I'm thinking that this horse finishes no worse than second. I want as many horses as I can think of that will win, that could win this race. With the number 1 here, Ultimate Love, 8-1. Ultimate Love is a bit under the radar after shipping in from the Mid-Atlantic, but has the closing kick I want to see, and I do think that they go pretty fast up front, and that the pace shapes up well. And then I'm also going to use the 2. Queen of Hawaii, the Irish horse at 12-1. This is the entry for the favorite son, Joseph O'Brien. And I think that Sonny Boy here, I think his horse can maybe upset Precise and likes the firmer going and last out won a great Group 3 in Ireland going away. If you believe the time form ratings for this horse, then it looks like it might actually be building to a big performance in this race. It's something I look for always. I'm always looking for the horse that's building, not the horse that's necessarily topped out. And then I'm also going to use the 5 Final Accord at 15-1 here. It has a win in Canada, then won again in the next out race in the Matron Stakes, which is a grade 3 for Mark Casse. And Final Accord is going to sit about 2.5 lengths off of the early pace and should likely get a great stalking trip off of the early pace. And in this race, should get first run at the early speed. So I'm playing those 3 horses, the 1, 2, and 5 on top. I'm keying Precise in second. And then underneath in third, I'm using every horse that I think has a chance to hit the board. So in addition to the 1, 2, and 5, I'm wheeling in the 6 Switch in Love at 20-1, the Japanese horse. The number 9, Time to Dream at 5-1. And the 11, Ground Support at 15-1, which once again is my $2 try. $30 total, 1, 2, 5 with 13, with 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 11. So we're at odds here once again with the 13. So
if it's not me, I hope it's you.
Thank you. I appreciate that sort of gravitas. I don't know. Listen, guys, I've had roughly 15 cups of coffee, and my mouth is moving way faster than my brain at this point. So just be understanding. That's all I can say. All right. We roll it in to race 9 here, but real quick, don't forget, we are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. The prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. With Novig, you're getting the best prices. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get it in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And if you excuse me, I need to get a brief rehydration interlude in.
I love Dunkin', guy. What are you talking about?
We're back, and what are we doing? Sarah and I are giving out free picks.
And I make nothing. Zero. Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department, lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless.
Because we are selfless, we roll it in to race 9. We're talking 8.5 furlongs. The FanDuel Breeders Cup Juvenile, 8.5 furlongs. $2 million. Likely your winner is going to be the favorite in futures markets for the Kentucky Derby. You've got an exact to play here. What are you doing in race 9?
Yeah, I think that this is a race where we've seen Ted Nafi really be one to show that he can handle the distance, that he can progressively improve, that he has the ability to come from off the pace. He draws well towards the outside in this spot. And though he doesn't possess that same 101 standout triple-digit Beyer speed figure that we see from the horse directly to his inside in Brant, we've seen him really be one that I'm more confident can handle the distance than that one where it's a little bit sprinty on the dam side pedigree for Brant, even though he does get that stamina influence from the sire gun runner. So I just have a little bit more confidence in Ted Nafi getting the route of ground. And I like that they decided to go to Keeneland for that Breeders' Futurity and try to get those 2-turn and have that experience for him as well. And he was able to excel with that and earning a 97 Beyer speed figure for that effort. I'm not trying to beat him. I know that he'll be a short price in here. I think that if somebody upsets him, it's likely to be either Brant or one of the other horses that's more locally based in California. But I wanted to try to make an exacta play with Brant not being a part of that exacta for a little bit more value underneath. So I actually went with the number 8 on top with the number 1 Intrepido underneath, a horse that I thought overcame a little bit of difficulty in that last start in winning at a big price. And it was over the Philly Desert Gate as well as another Bob Baffert entrant. But this one I thought had every reason to not run his race when first out, running behind a horse in Brant after not breaking all that well. And I think that when he was able to be successful, it was a race where he was forwardly placed. And even last time, he showed that he doesn't necessarily need the lead in order to win, getting a little bit more ground to work with as well. So already that Grade 1 winner coming into this spot seems to be trending in the right direction. And if I wanted to try to have somebody else be underneath, I wanted somebody that has shown those different dimensions in their running styles.
So I think we saw this a lot the same, but I did pretty much the opposite of what you're doing here. I didn't play a win bet. I thought I would go ahead and press my opinion with a $10 exacta and also a $10 daily double. The $10 exacta being 7 with 8, and the $10 daily double 7 with 9, 12. It's moments like this, Sarah. It's moments like this when I'm really glad Barry isn't around, because he would be super disappointed in me right now for taking the top 2 choices and putting him in an exacta. But if you believe the speed figures, then this is a 2-horse race. And I think that it comes down to the 7 Brant at 5-2 for Baffert and the number 8 Ted Knopf 4-5. I don't think you really have to go further down the line than the top 2 choices on the morning line. And I'm going to try to maximize a chalky pick by going vertical with an exacta and horizontal with the daily double to 2 horses that I like in the finale, which is the Juvenile Turf. So the $10 exacta is 7 with 8. I'm going ice cold here because I don't want to divert any of my funds to a horse that's a long shot to hit the exacta. And I'm putting Brant on top because I think we might see something ridiculous from this horse. In Brant's debut, he ran a 101 buyer. But what I really like to see is that this horse also won with a troubled trip after being bumped in the break. The speed figures dropped off because of that trouble trip, as you would expect. And I think that this is what's keeping that price fair at 5-2. Ted Knopf has a win at the distance, but dropped a point in the speed figure department. And will have to show that he can take a step forward after shipping across the country for Todd Pletcher. I think he provides the best value, but underneath in an exacta. So I'm going ice cold 10 with the 7-8. And then I roll my daily double into race 10, 8 furlongs, the $1 million Breeders Cup Juvenile Turf. And I opted to use 2 horses in this leg of the daily double to finish out my $100 budget for Friday. This is another race that should have a fairly hot pace. I landed on 2 horses I think can come from off the pace to win this. I'm finishing off my daily double with the 9 Argos. Ooh, almost highlighted everything. The number 9 Argos at 6-1. Flavian Pratt retains the mount on Argos after 2 races at Woodbine in Canada. He took a big step forward last out and had a hot pace to run into like he should here. Love seeing the workout pattern here with a nice slow 5 furlong work followed by another easy 4 furlong work. And last out, Argos showed the ability to overcome trouble after being stuck in tight between horses and then winning while going 7 wide into the stretch. I'm also going to use in my daily double the number 12 Botas for Miguel Clement, and this is a time form late pace play because this horse has a great closing kick. It should have enough left in the tank to run down the early pace in this race. And Botas is a perfect 2 for 2 in his career, and making the third career start. Given the first two speed figures in this race, this looks like a horse that can take a step forward in this spot. We're going from 78 to 80. Could this be where it drops off? I don't know. But I think that this the horse is most likely to take a step forward. So I'm wrapping it up with those 2 horses, the 9 and the 12, Argos and Botas. You're closing out your pick 3 here in race 10, and you've also got another play for us. What are you doing here?
Yeah, so this is a race where I thought that your favorite towards the outside is one that could be beatable, unlike how I feel about some of the other shorter prices earlier on in the card. And so I was looking at the number 6 horse, North Coast, as a potential upsetter, being one that's coming in for Joey O'Brien, who we talked about in that other race where the Juvenile Fillies Turf. Maybe he just didn't really appreciate the yielding going last time out, going the 7 furlongs in that Group 1 in Ireland, where he ended up finishing a little bit further behind a horse who's going to be one of your favorites towards the outside. But if you look at his record prior to that race, he has nothing but good efforts where he's hitting the board. And I think that maybe if you just consider that it was more of that ground, more of a straightaway, more of a competition that he was facing, in addition to those factors being up against him, he could provide some value at what is 30-1 on the morning line, because he has that left-hand turn experience. He has the experience going a mile. He finished second while doing so to Daytona. And he's one that he's also handled a variety of different things, like the straightaways, the right-handed turns. And I have a valid excuse for his last race. So maybe one that will appreciate a little bit firmer ground here and could sustain more of his type of early position that he had last out.
I like the play because if you think, I would even put it in like a all trifecta key box too, because I think you're on to a very valuable horse that if it hits the board in any form or fashion, that you're probably going to get a pretty good payday. So I like the key box, and I also like the audacity of the 30-1. But hey, if we think about previous Breeders' Cups, I mean, what was that horse's name a couple of years ago? Australia, that was like 60-1.
Bar of gold.
Bar of gold. I was exactly gonna say, coming out of a Parks race at like a fucking 1,000,000 to 1. Like this is the place where it doesn't seem like you should dream big, but you definitely should dream big on weekends like this, because they're all talented horses and the public's not going to have it right every single time.
What is your biggest Breeders' Cup long shot that you were right about?
Whitmore in the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Keeneland. Right. I want to say it was maybe 30-1. Is that right?
He was something wild and crazy that he was the 9, right? Which means
he was 7. He was a 7, because I'm planning on getting a tattoo of Whitmore with the number 7 saddle cloth on there. Okay. You know, the best thing about that Whitmore bet was, like, I wasn't really sure he could win the race, but someone told me he was washed up, and it was more of like a spite bet than anything else.
Oh, that's the best kind.
Yeah, nothing like it. That's like there was someone here I want to say last week, who told me if my horse won that they would eat their hat. And
was that Matthew DeSantis?
No, though he is one of the real bad guys and bullies in the sport. Yeah, So no, they told me that the horse, you know, they eat their hat if the horse won. The horse lost by like a nose. And so, like, I already had the tweet all fired up where it was going to be like, you're going to want to get a good sear on both sides of that hat, and maybe a little bit of paprika, but it didn't come through. But guess what? The horses that they mentioned didn't even hit the board. So
there you go.
The moral victory. Moral victory.
I was told that there's no moral victories in horse racing, but sometimes I beg to differ.
Yeah. Sometimes it just feels good to win just to spite people. Real quick, before we wrap up our picks for Breeders' Cup Friday, got to remind you that Underdog is your home for pick'em entries, where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN. And of course, we're brought to you by the good nerds at Rhythm. Rhythm is crushing it in college football, NFL, and now just added the NBA. Rhythm's also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build. You could win $1,000. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm. Use your promo code SGPN. If you excuse me, I need to get yet another brief rehydration interlude.
And I'll have enough money to hit the club and get some fresh clothes on this thing.
I love that clip so much. All right, let's recap some picks. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, so we're starting off in the Juvenile Fillies, $2 exacta key box. We're keying on the number 1, Iron Orchard, with all. Starting at $2 pick 3 there, with favorites after that. The number 13, Precise, and then Ted Noffey, the number 8 in the Juvenile. Also running a pick 3 in race 8 with Precise, Ted Noffey, and then closing things out with a big price in the finale, the Juvenile Turf. In the 9th, I have a straight exacta, trying to get Brandt out of there with the $2 exacta, 8/1. And then to close things out, I can't stay away from that price with the number 6 long shot for Joey O'Brien, $2 exacta key box, number 6 with all.
If you make it into the last leg of that race 8 pick 3 alive, I'm going to be a nervous Nelly for you. I'm going to be very, very in my feelings, want that horse to win. So, All right, here we go. These are my picks for Breeders' Cup Friday with a $100 budget. Race 7, I'm playing a $20 win on number 7, Brant, and a $10 exact. Or that's not Brant. That's a different race. My bad. All right, $20 win on the number 7 and a $10 exacta 2 with the 5-7. Race 8, I'm playing a $2 try keying the favorite in second, 125 with 13 with 125, 6, 9, 11. Then race 9, a $10 exacta, Brant over Ted Noffey and a $10 daily double, 7 Brant with 9 and 12 in the final leg. That's Argos and Botas. How do you rate your first guest host? You've gone from favorite of the show, friend of the show, and now you've been elevated to guest host. How did it feel? How's that?
I feel like it's a pretty similar experience to what we've had together before. I didn't feel pressured. I didn't feel like it was something that I needed to do anything extra for. I would give it a good 10 out of 10 experience.
10 out of 10 will do again. In fact, you'll be doing again tomorrow. Sure we've got the big card tomorrow, the Saturday Breeders' Cup card. We got 9 races to choose from. We'll be attacking it the exact same way with a $100 budget. I don't know what to say other than join us tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. God's time. Also on Friday, we'll be back bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about our best bets. We're going to give our best bet for the Friday card and for the Saturday card. Who knows? Maybe we dig in and it'll be something different. There's incentive to watch. Please do that. All right. That's it. We've done it. It's over.
We did it. Yay.
We did it. Yay.
Yay.
All right. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for us here at the Notorious OTB. Brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Let me find a good clip to ride out on.